Imagine you wake up, not to the shriek of an alarm clock, but to the soft, gray light of dawn filtering through the leaves. There are no emails to check, no meetings to attend, no deadlines looming. Your only job for the day is to live. We often picture our ancient ancestors in a constant, brutal fight for existence. A life spent working from sunrise to sunset just to find the next meal before collapsing in an exhausted heap. But what if that picture is completely wrong? What if, for the vast majority of human history, our ancestors had a better work-life balance than many of us do now? What if they actually worked less than you do? Let's erase the frantic, modern-day clock and walk through a real day in the life of a Paleolithic human, tens of thousands of years ago. Let's find out what they actually did all day. The morning waking with the sun. The day doesn't start with a jolt. It begins slowly as a small, tight-knit band of a few dozen people stirs in their simple shelters or by the embers of last night's fire. Group sizes varied, but this was an extended family and their bonds were everything. Survival wasn't an individual task, it was a group project. And there was no single, solid block of 8 hours of sleep. Until the Industrial Revolution, many people in pre-industrial societies experienced segmented sleep. They'd have a first sleep, wake for an hour or two in the quietest part of the night for reflection or quiet conversation, and then drift off for a second sleep. So they rise with the sun in sync with the world's natural rhythm. There is no morning rush. Instead, the first part of the day is for connection, sharing stories, tending to children, and planning the day's main event, getting food, the work of survival, the morning's task. This is where we imagine the tough labor begins. And yes, work gets done, but it's not what you think. The group often splits up, a practical division of labor, not a rigid hierarchy. Some might go hunting, tracking a herd of deer, or working together to stalk larger game. Patience, silence, intense focus. Meanwhile, the gatherers are just as crucial, walking encyclopedias of botany, knowing which roots are edible, which berries are ripe, which plants heal. In many environments, their contribution was a stable foundation of the group's diet. But here's the important part. This doesn't take all day. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a focused task, done for as long as it takes to meet the day's needs. The midday turn, the myth of the endless grind. By early afternoon, the work is often done. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups, like the Zhu Huanxi of the Kalahari, found something stunning. Time spent purely on getting food was often just 15 to 20 hours a week, roughly 3 to 5 hours a day. This led anthropologist Marshall Solins to famously call them the original affluent society. Their wealth wasn't possessions, it was time. Even counting tool making, food prep, and moving camp, total subsistence work often ran around 30 to 40 hours a week, less than many of our jobs before commuting and errands. So what did they do with the rest of the day? The long afternoon, the age of leisure, napping, resting, and above all, socializing, talking, bonding, strengthening the social fabric that was their real survival tool. It was also time for skilled craft, knapping flint into a spearhead, sewing hides with bone needles, done communally, with conversation and storytelling woven through. Children learned by watching and imitating through free play. Adults played too. Dance, music, game. This leisure wasn't a luxury, it was the core of their culture. In this time, knowledge passed down, tools were perfected, and art was born. Cave paintings, carved figurines, made for meaning, ritual, spirit, not for a mark. Evening around the fire, connection and culture. As the sun sets, the group gathers around the fire, heat, safety, and above all, community. The television, the town square, and the temple all in one. Food is cooked and shared, often powerful culture of sharing and radical egalitarianism. As darkness falls, the stories begin, the encyclopedia, history book, and spiritual guide of the people you are and where the dangers lie. Sleep, and the cycle begins again with the dawn. The great pivot. How everything changed. For hundreds of thousands of years, this was the rhythm of human life. Then, starting around 12,000 years ago, agriculture changed everything, trading the uncertainty of the hunt for the demands of the harvest. Surplus led to storage, private property, and defending it. Societies grew less equal. The demanding work week had begun. Thousands of years later, the Industrial Revolution arrived. The sun's rhythm replaced by the clock. Work weeks of 60 to 70 hours becoming common. Their lives were undoubtedly harder and riskier in many ways, but they also had things we've arguably lost. Deep community bonds, art and story at the center of life, and above all, time. Their existence forces us to ask, in our relentless pursuit of more, what have we traded away? What aspect of Paleolithic life surprised you the most? Is there anything from their way of life you wish we had more of today? Let me know in the comments below.